Germany won't close shops again. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from the local in Germany regarding how they won't close shops again. Now we're all familiar with Victoria's fantastic strategy to get out of lockdown by having more lockdown, and how they're going to limit the way businesses can, operate based on potential cases in other states. They want the entire country to be free of this illness before they go to COVID normal, which seems quite contradictory to the original strategy of flattening the curve. Now, I suspect that they indeed will flatten the curve, but it will be the GDP curve and the hopes and dreams of future generations, burdened with debts, with overexpensive housing, and a government that is just kicking the can down the road more and more. We need to look at other nations. We need to look at Germany. We need to look at Sweden. We need to look at what our doctors are writing to our leaders, because there are other paths. You've got to remember, it's not uniform consensus here in the strategies to mitigate with this. We need to look at the comments and suggestions from epidemiologist D.A. Henderson when people were suggesting these insane type of interventions in economies and restrictions back during influenza scares. Just create, basing it on a wealth of opinions. But I honestly suspect our political leaders, particularly Andrews, particularly Labour, particularly even Federal, they're so committed now. This is going to be Andrews' legacy, and he's going to try and ride it into political power. I know there's a lot of people upset. I know there's a lot of people angry, but there are others that might vote him back in because he was a strong leader. You see it. How often do you see it in the comments or in the Facebooks or people posting, "Oh, he's good. He's doing what has to be done." People are scared. They're dangerous when they get scared. They're willing to give up a lot to not be scared. So let's have a look at what's happening in Germany. Shops won't close again. German health minister rules out a second coronavirus lockdown. So now we're the biggest fools in the world. Health Minister Jens Spahn says there would be less stringent measures put in place in Germany compared to March if coronavirus infections were to rise. While out on the state election campaign trail in Bottrop, North Rhine-Westphalia, earlier this week, Spahn discussed the lockdown measures put in place to stem the spread of the coronavirus and said it would not happen again in this way should the infection rate rise. Wow. Can you imagine an Australian politician saying that? We had the Queensland version of the freedom protests. They were nowhere near. I've got people sending me footage, and apparently it's all singing Kumbaya in the gardens. It was quite peaceful. People have sent me accounts of what happened in Sydney. It wasn't quite peaceful. And we've seen what happened in Melbourne. I suspect it's because we have an election coming up soon that the response was, limited. In March, the government ordered the closure of businesses including hairdressers, pubs, restaurants, as well as imposing contact restrictions. Visitors to nursing homes were also banned. Most businesses have since reopened. However, some places such as nightclubs are still closed. With the knowledge today, I can tell you no hairdresser would close down and no retailers would close down, said Spahn. That will not happen again. We won't need any more bans on visits to nursing homes. How can Germany say that? Let's have a look here. Let's look at the Johns Hopkins. Let's look at their map and see what the figures are in Germany right now. How's Germany doing? We'll wait for that to load up. All day I've been fighting my internet, guys. I was on the phone for an hour or 2 hours sorting through it with AussieBroadband. My router died. Luckily, I have like 4 lying around that I can use. So Germany's at 250,000 cases. 250,000 cases. And we'll go here. I like to see active cases, and we'll see here on Germany. Whoops. Once it loads up again, So 250,000 cases, 250,000 cases in Germany. So that's not a small number. That's a significant proportion. And they're saying if they get a second wave, they're not going to. They've had 9,336 deaths. And we'll go here to the... What is it? Okay, so in Northern Rhine-Westphalia, they've had 55,000 recoveries. Hanover, 15. In Berlin, 10,000 recoveries. 10,000 cases, only 819 active cases. I like looking at the active cases, everyone. And you can see behind... Well, you can't. I'll just zoom it up. You can see currently how they're going. And Australia, you know, we've had like 500... What are we sitting at? Let's scroll down to Australia. Come on, where are we? That's Austria. Australia, we've had 26,000, so a tenth pretty much. A tenth of Germany and 781, and we can't travel between borders. People in Victoria can't move 5 kilometers from their house. Everyone. After all, we have learned something in recent months about how to protect ourselves without needing these measures. So why have the Germans learned it and we haven't? In Bochum, it's because of superior German intellect, and that is completely due to my heritage bias that I even dare to say that. Cheers to that. But I'm bloody Australian. In Bochum on Tuesday, Spahn discussed the government's actions again. He said the containment measures put in place on public life in Germany early this year were imposed according to the infection dynamics and the state of knowledge at the time. Every day we are learning how to achieve the balance, he said. He said the measures currently in place to slow the spread of the virus, such as mask wearing, reducing the size of gatherings, keeping distances and maintaining hygiene, such as hand washing and airing rooms, were the best weapons. But in March, it was the right thing to be careful and to introduce harsh measures such as closing schools and preventing people from visiting care homes. Germany registered 1,256 new coronavirus cases within 24 hours and 16,400 registered active cases, and more than 9,400 people have died. Free Democrats leader Christian Lindner told Bild newspaper that Spahr's words showed it is right to always question government decisions. It comes after 38,000 people attended demonstrations in Berlin on Saturday against government coronavirus measures. And you realize Germany is one of the few countries in the world that managed to stop a cash ban. So what do you think, everyone? Can you see this happening here in Australia? I mean, is this good that they're learning from what they've done, learning from the implementations? Why is this not happening here? Why is it not happening here? I think in many ways, Australia, we've got a much more paternalistic government than a lot of other places in the world. People think Australians are all carefree and laissez-faire and, boisterous and tomfoolery, and larrikins. Not for a long time. That's disappeared. We've become a cotton wool bloody legislated nation. There's so many rules and regulations and risk assessments out the wazoo. You can't do anything without a permit. You want to fish, you need a license. It's just crazy. We are such a regulated society. And I think that's starting to manifest. What we're seeing, Rachel even said, one of the other mothers at the dance school was dobbed in because they had people over at the house. Fortunately, they had enough numbers, but it's big families. They had under 10 guests at their house. The total number may have been higher, but the police asked it in such a way to hopefully not have to get anyone in trouble. But they were dobbed in. Neighbours are dobbing in neighbours. Is that the Australian that you remember growing up? Or is that the Australia that we've become? And do you think we can learn anything from the German health minister? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're a fan of the channel and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time.